Greetings. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic. This is our semi-regular meditation with Sade Wolfkitten, and she is going to be doing a wonderful Mabon meditation for you today. So sit back and enjoy that. I know I'm not your normally regular scheduled talking head here. This is Jillian, Stephen's wife. Somewhat active in the museum still, but Stephen is doing something really exciting. He's on his way to New York right now. He is picking up some art for a new show organized with the Stephen Romano Gallery. It's called Apparitions. It'll open on October 1st. So get in now to see the Witch Vision show with Maja Daoust as soon as you can, because that is a really beautiful show and only a couple of weeks left of that. And also, before we begin with Sadie, I just wanted to tell you about an event, a live event on streaming live with Stephen Romano and Jason Mankey. That is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Jason Mankey is a high priest out in San Francisco. He's written a lot of books. He also writes for Pathos, the pagan website, and should have a lot of great, interesting things to talk about. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Sadie.
All right. Well, blessed be and welcome. I'm glad you all can join me here today for yet another experiment in virtual meditation. We're come now to one of the pivotal points of the year, one of only two when all is briefly in balance. Day and night are equal in length and only for a short time, reminding us that the balance is about to shift as we turn from the lightness into the dark. All around us, the trees are preparing to change their colors, each according to their own schedule, and the second harvest is being brought in. The sun's mellower and less fierce than it was. Seeds form as the sap in the trees runs down again into the earth, drawing the warmth of summer skies down towards the underworld, where it will slumber until spring shifts the balance towards the light once again. Equinoxes are time to settle scores and put things in order. This point is a cusp, a time of transition and reflection. Now comes the dusk of the sun, a time of banishing and cleansing. The second harvest turns our attention within, while without, the world is preparing for sleep. As we cross the threshold into the dark half of the year, we look over what the 12 months past have brought us. What did we wish for at Samhain or Yule? What seeds did we plant at Ostara that have now borne fruit? This year, in particular, is a little bit challenging as we may not really have gotten what we wished for. 6 months ago, we had only taken the first tentative steps into this new reality in which we find ourselves. Is there anyone among us who didn't find their path disrupted, whether a little or a great deal? Even if your personal 2020 yield does not seem bitter, it still is likely an unexpected crop. Whatever your personal outcome, now is the time to consider how this ancient theme of harvest applies to your own life. As ye sow, so shall ye reap remains a truism. This is merely a way of stating a law of karma. For many witches, the threefold law states that whatever you send out shall come back to you 3 times over. And that applies whether we're in circle or not, and whether we are consciously sending out our energy or not. Most of us are kind of used to trudging through our days in a haze, falling back time and again on habitual thoughts, actions, and beliefs. We seldom stop to consider whether the moods that we radiate as we rush off to work and chafe through checkout lines or collapse in front of the tube at night are something we'd really care to receive back in triplicate. Likewise, we often let the workday world prevent us from enjoying simple moments like a brilliant September sky or magenta sunsets over the lake, the crisp, fresh tang of cider. If nothing else, this year has shaken us out of our habitual ruts. As the wheel of the year turns, the earth is dying a bit each day. Let us willingly follow the old gods into the darkness, where they'll watch over us, protect us, and keep us safe. And during this dreaming time, let us nurture the seeds of change and growth that we hope to see flower and bloom when next the day and night stand equal in length. I hope that today's meditation, which will be less narrational than some of the recent ones, will help us take stock of where we stand now and where we hope and aim to advance as we make our way around the ongoing spiral of life. So I usually begin these by putting up a protective sphere around the group. My background is in the fairy tradition, so I often will use 7 directions. In addition to the standard north, south, east, and west, I add above, below, and center. Since we aren't sharing the same physical space today, I'm going to read an abbreviated version of these. You don't have to turn and face them as we do, but do at least try to focus your attention on each in turn. Ready? All right. Let's begin by putting up a sphere to hold all of us here together in virtual space, wherever our physical bodies may be. We'll begin by creating our sphere in the north. So by ancient earthwork, fort, and barrow, at the midnight hour on the winter solstice, I call up castle walls and hobbit holes and rough-hewn timbers, the gifts of the material plane, the strength of foundation, earth to the ground. Join us now, if you will, in the sphere of creation. And turning to the east, by the piper at the gates of dawn, at sunrise on the morning of the spring equinox, I call up bursting crocus and hyacinth perfume, the clarity and wisdom of understanding, to speak to us in the tongue of wind. Join us now, if you will, in this sphere of creation. And turning to the south, with the passion of lovers at midday on the summer solstice, I call up lust for life, ecstatic dance round midsummer bonfires, the will, the passion, and the spark that heats our loins and brings a flush to the face. Join us now, if you will, in this sphere of creation. And from the west, with prayers for rain, at twilight on the eve of the autumn equinox, I call up mystic insight from the rainbow's end, where the sky meets the sea and the space between the worlds is thin, the depth of compassion, the drink of dreamers. Join us now, if you will, in this sphere of creation. We look now to the above with the diamond bullet of enlightenment from crystalline towers and iridescent spheres. I call up inner knowledge, the spiritual plane, the light of a fully expanded awareness, the endless reflection of a mirror looking into itself. Join us now, if you will, in this sphere of creation. And to the below, with the velvet cloak of endarkenment, from the 0 point, the void, the no thing that never was, I call up the endlessness of infinity, emptiness, and stillness, the mysteries of the tomb, and the knowledge of that which is not, the darkness on the edge of forever, the starless mire. Join us now, if you will, in this sphere of creation. And finally, the center, with the multifaceted gem of reflection from that central point round which all else revolves, I call up the all that is, the calm at the center of the storm, the line between the yin and the yang, unity and the reconciliation of all opposites. Join us now, if you will, in this sphere of creation. This sphere can be seen as protected space, large enough to hold us all within, keeping us safely together. And as this stream is potentially available to anyone, anywhere on the planet, let's visualize this sphere as encompassing the whole of Mother Earth, holding us all, warding off that which threatens, even if only for a little while. Each of you is assisting with this sphere, holding it up with your energy, your presence here with us today, or at any future time you may see this. We are co-creators of this reality, so for a time, we're going to envision a safer, saner, and healthier world together. So I would like everyone to begin by making sure that you're sitting comfortably with your back as straight as possible. The spine is an energy channel for nerve impulses, for your chi, but it's also a divining rod that connects you through your chakras to the world around you, of which we are all still a part. We are in the world as cells are in a body. And if you haven't already, I'll ask you now to close your eyes and begin breathing deeply and fully. Feel your breath circle in, moving down and through you, expanding your throat, your lungs, your belly. With each breath you take in, feel yourself becoming more relaxed. As with each breath you breathe out, more and more stress, tension, and everyday cares are leaving you. And as you relax and begin to settle more, feel this energy that is flowing in move further and further into your body, pushing through any blockages, moving down your legs, out through the soles of your feet, and even farther now, moving through your spinal column, down, down, seeking the earth beneath us as the roots of a tree seek water below the soil. Feel your roots spread out below you, seeking that nourishment, that connection. And as you do, notice too that despite the physical distance of our bodies, your roots begin to encounter others, roots put out by others in this virtual circle, on and on. Feel your roots reaching out to each person who is tuned in here, entwining and nestling together. Our roots are forming their own circle below us, connecting us all, rooting us to the earth that supports us and is our home. Draw in another breath now, a new breath, one that is moving upward. This breath fills your head, the space behind your eyes, still moving up and up until at last the energy begins to bubble up from the top of your head, spilling out like a fountain, arching and splashing gracefully. And as it does, the drops begin to mingle with those of others in this circle, sparkling and dancing, creating another circle above us of light and sound and air, gently connecting us with the soothing sound of water music and quiet flashes of rainbow refraction. As our roots did below, so too let this fountain reach out and across, connecting you with the person opposite, with each person here, until we are linked above as below, a perfect sphere surrounding us and protecting us. Now, I want you to open your inner eye. We have entered a new space now, a time that is not a time, and a place that is not a place. The sphere that holds us has become a world of our own making, a place we can safely gather, a place you can return to whenever you wish. And as you adjust to this space, you find yourself moving, drawn along a path that leads in towards the center. It seems near enough to reach out and touch, but as you move towards it, you realize you're on a path leading you onwards and inwards. Soon, you notice that as you approach, you see only that which is currently all around you, something too small to make out. But as you move comfortably and naturally towards it, it grows larger and larger still until at last it is all you can see. That which is in front of you is imperceptibly different, as if it were somehow wrapped around the fabric of space-time. Normal enough to the eye when you look directly in front of you, but slightly distorted, curved, and stretched out of the corner of your vision. Perhaps in wonder or admiration. But the moment your fingers make contact with the surface, you find it is no longer in front of you. At first, you think it has moved, The distortions of a moment before no longer in evidence. As you glance back over your shoulder, you realize the surface you had thought to touch is now behind you, and you, somehow, are inside. Facing forward again, you understand that this dimly lit space you inhabit is a room, albeit one of enormous, nearly incalculable size. It is large, larger than any room you have been in out in the waking world, yet you know it. As your eyes adjust, you realize you recognize this room. You've been here before, many, many times throughout your life. Looking about, you spy various well known items, some clearly, fondly remembered, while others may have slipped from your mind. Look around now. Orient yourself to this new yet familiar space. Behind you, you catch one last glimpse of the portal that admitted you here. Now you can see through it. The sun is shining there. The trees are lush and green, and people laugh and stroll, lightly dressed, barefoot, the grass between their toes. Even as you register this, however, the scene begins to fade, and you know you will not pass that way again for a long time, weeks or months, year. Knowing this, you face the room you are in with more understanding eyes. Here, the air is cooler and crisp. There's a scent in the air, a scent you only ever find in this room. You inhale deeply, remembering when you smelled it last. It is both a warm and comforting scent, apples, cinnamon, wood smoke, and an invigoratingly cool one, speaking of vastly deep nighttime skies and falling leaves. As you breathe in this mix of scent memories, more of the space becomes clear around you. You begin to remember all the times you have been here before, starting with your last visit here a year ago and echoing backwards into the past. Perhaps the last time you were here, you were with someone who is not here now. Perhaps you were here alone. Perhaps someone new has joined you. You may even recognize some of those in our circle tonight as having shared this space with you before, once, twice, or many times. Memories now are becoming clearer. What had been a sort of two-dimensional snapshot in your mind from previous visits begins to solidify, take on depth and life as each element of this way station on our yearly journey comes more into focus. Ah, yes, you think, as the sensations come rushing back. Here's the spot where I had this particular experience, and over there, look, that's where we go. That's what we do. The beloved seasonal rituals we reenact each time we pass through. Now that you know where you are, back here once again, remember a favorite place, somewhere you can pause for a time. Find a seat or a comfortable vantage point, whether it be somewhere you pass every day or a place that you visited only once but always hope to return to. Take a moment now from this familiar retreat to look around and remember. What, at this time of year, in this mental space, do you usually experience? Think of tomatoes, peppers, and beans brought in, a parent or a student of the requirements of back to school. Some of these will be same as they ever were, while others will have been altered by the challenges this particular year presents. What did you have with you when you were here before? What have you lost? What have you gained? Perhaps there is something you had before that you're missing now. Perhaps there's something you're glad to be rid of. Likewise, perhaps you've picked up some things that you wish you had not, or gained something that you lacked. These things all affect the space around you. Note how it feels subtly different from when you were here before. Are the changes you see better or worse, or both? You know that your current comfortable position cannot be held for long. When you step forward from here, you step onto a wheel that is turning towards the dark half of the year, when all life will seem to have retreated or gone dormant. Yet we also know that winter still is a time for growing, the secret seeds of life unfolding, even if where we cannot see. So too with the world that will unfold before us in the days and weeks to come. The past is history, the future is a mystery. But now is a gift, a chance to make decisions that will affect us going forward. As we look back over the past year, the path we have taken to arrive at this point, we are at the same time preparing in our hearts for the next. Soon we'll be at Samhain, the gate to the other world, the dark half of the year, when dreams slumber in the belly, waiting to be born in the bright dawn of new spring. By considering where our thoughts and actions of the last 12 months have brought us, we can better prepare for the visions and aspirations a new year will bring. Let us then take a moment to mentally create the sort of world we hope to live in the days and months to come. Take a breath, renew your center if you need to, and begin visualizing the world as a place of freedom and peace, equality and plenty. Opinion and belief may be expressed by all people in an atmosphere of safety, tolerance, and understanding. Nationality, wealth, ethnic, and social background are not so relevant in this place. Respect for all is the code by which we live. Everyone's voice is equally heard, equally relevant. There's no need for desperate action here because the deep belief in the heart of each individual is that there are infinite numbers of different types of people who naturally band with others who are similar to themselves, that each one is of equal worth to the larger group called humanity. Difference is valued for its role in the survival of the species, sure antidote for stagnation and stubborn sameness. And just as it is valued, so too is it cared for. In this world, no one is denied food, shelter, or medical care for any reason, whether it's the color of their skin, the sex of their lover, or the amount of money in their pocket. For this world, or the feelings of it, create it in your mind. And now, think about bringing that world into this one. How would your life be different if we lived in such a world? How might it change your daily actions? Think about what steps you might take to bring such a world closer to manifestation. What needs to change? What changes can you affect? Some steps are immediately obvious, but press on. There may be more solutions just waiting for someone like you to implement. As you look around, you find that your attention is being drawn in one specific direction. There. Yes, just in that spot. Something is attracting your attention. It may be shiny, it may be dark, light or heavy, large or small. You draw nearer. Whatever the item is, it is all for you, and you recognize it immediately. Reach out now. No matter its size or shape, you'll be able to grasp it. And as your fingers close around it, it folds in on itself, becoming small and smaller until it is only a seed resting on your palm. You know, however, that this tiny seed contains that which you need most for the journey ahead. Tuck it someplace safe. You can swallow it if you like. It's yours now, and it cannot be lost. That accomplished, you look up. Off in the distance, just as far as your eye can see, and perhaps a wee bit farther, you just can make out a shimmering. Instinctively, you know this is another portal, much like the one that you came through to get here. You no sooner think of this than you find yourself moving again, traveling at your natural pace, moving, as you must, towards the next gate. It is far away yet, a journey of many weeks. You have time here in this space to look around and appreciate where you are, where you have come from, and where you are heading. That far door leads further into the darkness, but you know it is not a darkness to fear, merely the next way station on your journey. Knowing this, knowing that you now possess everything you need in that little seed, you realize you are, somehow, once again on the path that led you here to the center of the circle. Still moving forward, but forward towards yourself, towards your physical body that is sitting patiently. It is the same path that you traveled before, but somehow it is deeper and richer and clearer. You realize the path that is leading you back out into the waking world is no different from the path within that leads you on to the next point on the wheel. For a wheel it is. We have stepped through the doorway from summer into autumn, and tonight we are balanced on that wheel, suspended equally between the darkness and the light. And as you journey back, returning to your waking consciousness, you remember the seed. You now know it carries not only all you need for the coming dark season, but the very space where you found it is deep within its tiny heart. And as you return to your body, you understand that the space that we inhabit now, this room, in this house, on this day, is a microcosm of that larger space. Tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, each day that is to come is a step along the path towards the next point on the wheel. Soon, we will move from this circle. But when we do so with the knowledge that we are all still connected, our roots and our branches, creating this protected circle. Within you resides the good things that you have gained on your way here. But you can also wash away the things you no longer wish to be part of your life. As with life, your cup will hold a mixture of each, joy and regret, happiness and tears. Only you know which is stronger in your mix. While surely we generally all wish for sweet, some bitter in the mix may serve a purpose as well, to instruct us, point out mistakes made, so that we may learn from them and make better choices going forward. So breathe in now, slowly and deeply. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes. And let us take now a moment to thank the Center for holding presence in this sphere of creation and providing the point around which all else revolves. Go if you must, but stay if you will. Hail and farewell. We thank, too, the below, whose presence in this sphere of creation has provided the nothing from which all arises. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell. And our thanks to the above, whose presence in this sphere of creation has provided the light of awareness that blooms in all our hearts. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell. We thank the West, whose presence in this sphere of creation has provided us the primordial experience and essence of love. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell. Thanks to the South, whose presence in this sphere of creation has provided us the energy and inspiration to carry our gifts out into the world. Go if you must, but stay if you will. Hail and farewell. And so, too, we thank the East, whose presence in this sphere of creation has provided the ability to imagine, to think, realize our dreams, and perhaps to make them real. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell. And we give thanks to the North, whose presence in this sphere of creation has provided the foundation upon which all else is based. Go if you must, but stay if you will. Hail and farewell. And now the circle is open, but never broken. So merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. And also, thank you for joining me here today. If you'd like to visit this meditation again or catch up on any previous you may have missed, they may be up on the Buckland channel, and I also put them up on my seasonal meditations up on YouTube under the name Sasha Peppercorn, because reasons. So SASHAPEPPERCORN and YouTube, and you can find everything going back to, I think, first one we did, Yule, maybe? Whatever it was. They're all up there, and a couple other miscellaneous things as well. So
Fantastic.
right.
Thank you, Sadie.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Even who you are and where you are and doing what you do, and the fact that I get to be a part of it is just an extra little goodie.
Excellent. We're happy to have you for sure. Well, thank you again.
A little shorter than some, so I hope folks will forgive me for that.
Yeah. Blessed Mabon to everyone, and hail and farewell.
And new moon as well, so it's doubly a time for
it is,
clearing out, setting new intentions, and it's Rosh Hashanah, I believe, this weekend too, and which has a very similar theme in a lot of ways. So
that's true. It's all about the apples.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
And to all our viewing public.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Take care. You say bye now?